Hello everyone, welcome to another special from Mr. Shobjani. Today we are going to talk about the real incident or the true story which actually inspired Kill. No, it is not the story which Nikhil Bhatt is talking about, wherein he said that yes, he was traveling in a train as a student, and in the morning he woke up and he came to know that the bogie beside him was being robbed by dacoits. It is not that story which I'm going to tell you all about. Okay, we all know that story, and yes, Nikhil Bhatt has gone ahead and told us all about that story, and that's great. It could have happened in his life, but the actual incident which inspired Kill, and I think the filmmakers are not acknowledging it, probably because of certain issues which can arise, because if you say that a movie is inspired by a true story or a true life incident wherein the person who was actually involved in that incident and he behaved like a complete hero, absolute hero, the family or that person might ask for some remuneration, or they might ask for something from the movie. Right now Kill is slowly slated to be one of the biggest sleeper hits of this year. So there are a lot of big bucks involved, and so you need to keep certain things under wrap. Otherwise, you might have to just go ahead and say that yes, this movie was inspired from this story. And when you say that, when you do that, you have to go ahead and buy rights, you have to go ahead and also take permission from the people who were involved in that incident. There are a lot of legal issues involved. Now prima facie, if you watch Kill, there are many places the script or the story has been tweaked in order to make it substantially different from what actually happened in reality. But still, if you watch the movie closely, you will understand that it is indeed inspired by this true story, which is stranger than fiction. And I'm going to talk to you all about that. And the reason why I'm talking about this is not because, okay, Kill is inspired by this true story. It is a story which is getting lost with time. This happened over 16 years ago, and many people don't know about this. But thankfully, Mr. Shobjani, the moment I watched the trailer of Kill, this is the first thing which kind of came to my mind, because I still remember this story, reading it over 16 years back, and I still say, wow, I can't believe my eyes. What am I reading? That is exactly what I felt when I read that story for the first time. And now after Kill has released, it was like going ahead and reliving it. Of course, there's a lot of chutzpah, there's a lot of masala, there are a lot of things which have been put into that movie. But there are certain facts in that incident which stand out, and that is the reason why I'm going to go ahead and talk to you all about that. So I'll go ahead and narrate exactly what happened so that you all understand. And I think many of you know about this incident, but the newbies, generation Z, Z1, Z2, Z3, I think you guys don't know about it. So it's my job, Mr. Shobjani, I need to tell you about this incident. And yes, again, as I told you, fact is indeed stranger than fiction. On September 2, 2010, when Bishnu Prasad Shrestha was returning home after voluntary retirement from the Indian Army, a dacoity happened on the train which he was traveling. At around midnight, on the Maurya Express train from Ranchi to Gorakhpur, 40 armed bandits boarded the train and started looting the passengers. He allowed himself to be robbed by the gun and knife toting train robbers when they soon began to mess with an 18-year-old girl in front of her parents who were watching helplessly. He couldn't sit down any longer. Shrestha lost it. And by the way, Shrestha was a Gorkha. That was bad news for those 40 dacoits who got up on that train. Shrestha took out his kukri and fought the entire group of 40 dacoits single-handedly, killing 3, injuring 8. All the others fled after the incident. Shrestha explained, they started snatching jewelry, cell phones, cash, laptops and other belongings from the passengers. They had carried out their robbery with swords, blades and pistols. The pistols may have been fake as they didn't fire. The girl cried for help saying, "You are a soldier, please save a sister." That's what the girl said. I prevented her from being raped, thinking of her as my own sister. During the fight, Shrestha took a serious knife wound on his left hand and the girl took a small cut on her neck. He was able to recover what the bandits stole: 200 cell phones, 40 laptops, a significant amount of jewelry and nearly 10,000 rupees in cash. When the family, as in the intended rape victim's family, offered him cash, Shrestha said, "Fighting the enemy in battle is my duty as a soldier. Taking on the thugs on the train was my duty as a human being." Shrestha got a gallantry medal for this incredible exploit of his. Now, let's try and see the similarities between Kill and what happened here. Okay, the first point, Shrestha was in the army. Here, the main protagonists, the two heroes of this movie, are from the army. The main guy, he's an NSG commando, and also his friend, an ectomorphic, diminutive, 5'3" guy who was deadly, who was smashing, amazing. He was also amazing. Both of them belong to the army. That is the number one similarity. It could have been anybody, but they both were from the army. That is the number one similarity. Second, Shrestha used a kukri. If you see in this movie, one of the main weapons of the villain of this movie, that is Raghav, is a kukri. Why give him a kukri? It is a direct homage to Shrestha, because that was his fighting weapon through which he actually fought off those 40 bandits. So that is how we can say that the filmmaker was very well inspired. He could have used any kind of a knife, but the fact that a kukri was used, of course it was given to the villain because that added a kind of a layered dimension to it, and it made Raghav's character very interesting, which is also one of the USPs of the movie. One of the main USPs of the movie is the action and Raghav's acting, which is out of the world as the main antagonist. He has simply eaten up the role. He's so good. The third point was there were 40 bandits. In this movie also, there are 40 bandits. Exactly 40 bandits. In the end, when Raghav is talking to the main hero and he said that I killed 4 of your people and you killed 40 of my men. That just goes to show that yes, that is also one of the very uncanny similarities what happened in this true life incident and what happened in this movie. Fourth point, if you look at the victim, the main victim because of which Shrestha actually fought off those bandits, and if you look at the family structure, it is husband, wife and daughter. Here also it is the same. The main victim, the linchpin or the catalyst because of which the hero and his friend are fighting the bandits on the train is husband, wife and their 2 daughters. Right? There are some interesting twists within. I do not want to divulge spoilers, but the family structure, I mean to say the victim structure in a movie, you need something, a kind of a catalyst which provokes the hero to go ahead and act. There is even another interesting point. Shrestha gave away his belongings when the bandits came. That is very interesting also, because if you notice in Kill, when the bandits first approach the soldiers and they are looting the passengers, the hero and his friends, they go ahead and give everything to the bandits. This is exactly the way Shrestha also reacted when the bandits first came. They went ahead and he went ahead and gave all the belongings. It was only when the bandits were trying to act funny with the girl that Shrestha intervened. Here also the same thing happens. The friend, the hero and his friend give away their belongings, and what they do is later on they go ahead and attack. They kind of give them a false sense of security that they are not dangerous, and then they attack. So there are a lot of similarities which have happened in this true life incident of Vishnu Prasad Shrestha and this movie and the movie Kill. The reason why I am highlighting it is that we should know much more about Vishnu Prasad Shrestha. He is the Gorkha who fought off 40 dacoits single-handedly, killing 3, injuring 8, and got a gallantry, one of the highest gallantry medals in India, for saving civilian lives. This is the real hero, and we should remember him. Now that a movie has come out, and how do you actually get inspired to make a movie? Of course, you can have your imagination, you can have something, but there needs to be somewhere a germinating seed. And this is definitely the incident which has provoked the filmmaker to go ahead and make such an awesome movie. I have my hats off to Nikhil Bhatt for making this movie. I do understand the constraints and the limitations as a filmmaker, because you see, when you're going ahead and making a movie on a biopic, making a movie on an incident, then you need to go ahead and compensate these people who were a part of that incident, who were a part of that biopic. Now, if you openly tell that this is the incident which has actually inspired me to make this movie, automatically you will run into some legal hassles or legal issues. So probably that is the reason why the filmmakers are not divulging the details. And come to think of it, yes, this is definitely the germinating seed based on which Kill has been made. That is beyond doubt, because there are too many red herrings or too many hidden Easter eggs within the movie, based on which you can absolutely say yes, yeah, इसके लिए ये movie बना. And we should not forget Vishnu Prasad Shrestha. These kinds of heroes should not be forgotten, because they inspire you to do something extraordinary. And this guy did something out of the world. He's a Gorkha. Of course, I had heard a lot of stories about Gorkhas, but when in 2010 I read this story, I realized exactly what a Gorkha is. They are just, if ever you are talking about Spartans, you want to know how Spartans were, probably Gorkhas are closest to that class of warriors. I think 300 Gorkhas can also hold up a massive Persian army on a narrow ledge. That is the kind of discipline and madness and bravery they have within themselves. And Vishnu Prasad Shrestha is a shining example of that. And 16 years later also, yes, a movie is being made based on his exploits on that train, because there are too many uncanny similarities of what happened on September 2nd, 2010 and this movie. Too many uncanny similarities, too many resemblances, and many people don't even know about it. And I, Mr. Shobjani, I know, I remember, I express. So that is exactly what I am doing. I want more and more people, please, it's a twofold thing I am doing. I want more and more people to go and watch Kill, and I'm talking about anyone who loves gore, who loves violence, because it's an ultra violent movie. I want you all to go ahead and watch Kill, because this is a trend setting movie which should not be missed. And in my book, I will put it on top 10 action movies I have watched, because I don't think we've got this kind of an action choreography on this kind of a narrow like narrow passageways and everything in any movies. The last time I watched it was when Jet Li fought a guy in The Dog. So I think it was Dog, or I don't remember that movie, but he fought a guy in a bathroom. And in Kill, you exactly have that kind of an action with very close quarters, where you cannot use your hands, you cannot use your kicks so effectively. So when you put in action choreography in these kinds of narrow situations, I mean to say, train is not exactly a very conducive place to fight, but when you actually put in people there in full thrown out action, you incorporate all the fighting styles, you put in Krav Maga, you put in a lot of things. It is incredible. It is incredible. One of my favorite fight sequence in this movie is when this hero's friend takes on the behemoth, and he's just fighting with his, and he just flips his foot and he falls at the back in the compartment. That is one of the finest. He's a 5'2" or 3" guy, you know, thin. He's not built like that guy, but he's an army guy. He knows Krav Maga. It was simply stunning. It was simply stunning. So my first objective definitely is, please go and watch Kill if you are an action fanatic, because this is the movie for the ages. Go and watch it in the nearest hall. This is one of the best action movies I've watched. And the second is, remember Vishnu Prasad Shrestha, because if it hadn't been for him, Kill wouldn't have been made. I'll be very frank with you. If it hadn't been for this guy, the movie wouldn't have been made. And it feels great because he's an Indian. He's an Indian guy. He did it. There's nobody else who could have done it. He fought off 40 dacoits. This is not 3 big guys taking on 1 terrorist. Okay? I believe I'm talking about an incident which happened. No complaints, nothing about those guys. They were amazing also. But this is one Gorkha, one guy taking on 40 armed bandits on a train on 2nd September 2010 and fighting them all off with a kukri. Can you believe it? Can you believe your eyes, your brain, your anything? And you would say, hey man, I watched that movie, but this really happened? I didn't know that. Yes, it did. So please watch Kill and please read about Vishnu Prasad Shrestha. Do acknowledge his efforts. What he did was unbelievable. He is actually a true hero. Thank you everyone. I hope you liked this segment. Many of my friends were talking to me about it. They said, I'll tell you the seed of making this video. Many of my friends were saying that, Nikhil Bhatt said that he actually was in a train and he woke up in the early morning and he heard in the next compartment there was a dacoity, and that's how he was inspired to make that movie. Listen, it could happen. Definitely he might have, because during that period a lot of robberies and dacoities used to happen. But listen, we know what happened, okay? Some of us know what happened, and I think we should talk about this to the world, to everyone. Now this movie is purchased in Lionsgate. This movie is being remade in Hollywood. People should know that there truly a person like him existed. What you watched on the screen, there was truly a person like that in a train one night at midnight with just a kukri in that narrow passageway. He fought off 40 bandits. So this is just, again, as I said, this is unbelievable, and these things should not be forgotten. Thank you, everyone. Again, signing off, and I will be just showing the picture of Vishnu Prasad Shrestha once again. This is the guy. Remember him. He is the Kill Bill. All hail Vishnu Prasad Shrestha, the Gurkha, who fought off 40 dacoits on a train. Bye. Thank you, everyone.